This video is sponsored by King of Card Fight. For more information on tournaments, deck lists, or setting up your own King of Card Fight tournament at your locals, go to kingofcardfight.com. Hello again, friends. Today I wanted to cover a topic I've touched on before, only in more depth. I wanted to go through a few charts and examples of how playtimings work. Let's start with the age-old conundrum that many players struggle with, declaration of wishing to enter a new phase. First, I want to explain a better way to phrase this. Instead of saying, I wish to enter the next phase, a better way of wording this is, I pass priority to you. The key aspect of a playtiming is that one doesn't end until both players pass priority. After that point, the playtiming is over, even if someone wishes to use a card. This means that non-turn player can't use a card or ability until turn player has had their chance to use theirs first. Conversely, if turn player waives their priority to see if their opponent wishes to cast a spell or ability, and they choose not to, turn player may no longer use a card in that playtiming, and it ends. This was the gist of what my last video covered. I'm going to showcase the Playtiming Diagram to better show this. Here is the chart. We can see that turn fighter having the option of using a card or ability is always the first thing to happen in all iterations of all playtimings. If turn fighter uses a card or ability, then non-turn fighter may choose to respond to that. If non-turn fighter does choose to respond, then their counter is resolved first. After this, the turn fighter spell or ability resolves, and we go back to star, which is turn fighter choosing whether or not they wish to use a card. If turn fighter waives priority, then non-turn fighter gets to decide if they wish to use a card or ability. If they do, then turn fighter may respond with a counter. If turn fighter uses a counter, you resolve that first, then resolve the non-turn fighter's card or ability. After this, we go back to star, which is turn player having priority to use a card or ability. The only way to reach end of playtiming is for both fighters to choose not to use a card or ability. Keep in mind that automatic abilities transcend priority. Turn players' automatic abilities will always resolve first, followed by non-turn players' automatic abilities, regardless of when they triggered. Then, the general playtiming of using a card or ability follows. Now, let's speak to the playtiming in battle. A battle playtiming is identical to a normal playtiming. Both players can use an infinite amount of cards or abilities. There is only one catch. Both players are limited to exactly one card with counter. One of the main points of confusion in how Bushiroad words things is that they call each individual chain within a playtiming a playtiming. They also call playtimings themselves playtimings. By Bushiroad's definition, there is only one playtiming in battle. There are also multiple playtimings within battle. Confused yet? That's why I call the iterative smaller timings within a playtiming chains. Here's a more specific example of a full playtiming in a battle phase. Turn player is attacking with Gunrod Delguess. They send a card from their field to the drop zone to increase Delguess's critical. Non-turn fighter chooses not to respond, as Delguess's ability is optional. After the monster is placed into the drop zone, non-turn player chooses to cast Art of Item Blasting to destroy Gunrod Delguess. After this, neither fighter chooses to use a spell or ability, even though turn player may still cast a counter. Hopefully that covers all that you need to know about playtimings in the battle phase. Now let's move on to specific triggers, primarily when you are dealt damage and when a monster is destroyed. Due to the rulings on Demon Way Geppaku Giri, we know that you may cast multiples of this card in response to your creature being destroyed. But the question is, how long is your casting window? The answer is pretty simple. It's the entire playtiming. Until both players choose not to use a spell or ability, you may cast Geppaku Giri at any point in time. This means that if your monster is destroyed during your opponent's main phase, then your opponent calls in 8th Omni Deity Lord Grand Goddess, you can respond to his on-entry effect with Demon Way Geppaku Giri, destroying it before it gains its soul. Keep in mind that the moment the playtiming ends, even if you stay in the same phase, all of these triggers will go away. Also, the main phase is always one playtiming, so if you take damage or have a creature destroyed during the main phase, you may use cards which require those triggers at any point in time. Many people struggle with the extended window of casting, but this is so that a player gets their proper chance to play a card in response to its trigger. There are times when your monster is destroyed by a unit with Spectral Strike, where you might need to cast a damage reduction spell just to live. Bushiroad doesn't want to punish you for having to cast spells in a certain order. Additionally, with new mechanics being added to the game, we now have more playtimings. Much like battle phase, now that attacks may be declared in the final phase, there are now pre-battle playtimings and post-battle playtimings. This means that when an impact monster is called, the current playtiming must end before an attack can be made. If multiple impact monsters wish to attack during the same final phase, then there is a full playtiming between each attack. Additionally, if a player chooses not to attack with an impact monster, there is another full playtiming after that. Then they get to choose once more if they wish to attack or not. If they choose not to, then the final phase ends, and you enter the end of turn playtiming in the final phase. In conclusion, playtimings exist until both players choose not to use an ability. There is a playtiming between every attack, and triggers during playtimings exist until the end of that playtiming. I hope you found this video to be highly informative. Have a good one.